Hello everybody, I just want to make a quick tutorial on how I got the AverMedia C039 to work on my modern day laptop with Windows 64, OBS 64-bit, USB 3.0 modern gaming laptop. Everything that I used will be linked in the description, so I will just get right into it. First, starting out, you will see these are my old component cables for the Wii. I have to plug in the new ones that I got that have S-Video, and I have them set up here. And then I have these splitters, 4 male, 2 female. So I guess 2 male, 1 female on each one. Plugged in straight to the TV, and then I plugged in the yellow, white, and red into it. And this makes it where there's no latency on video. So it's not like the old Dazzle days with Call of Duty where there was a little bit of latency there when recording. And then the extra S-Video is gonna go into your AverMedia C039. And then of course you're just gonna match the colors down here. And then the yellow is just gonna be hanging loose. And then you just plug that right into USB. 2.0, 3.0, doesn't matter. I can show my drivers here. Oh, it's all 3.0. 3.1, so it's good to go. So once that is all connected and your game is on, we will head to OBS and I will switch over to a screen recording to show you the setup there. Once everything has been powered on and plugged in, the first thing I did was download the AverMedia A833 USB pure analog driver. Now this is kind of a base driver for AverMedia products. It may not have been needed. I did this before I configured the video properly in OBS, but I didn't want to leave it out just in case. After installing this, you want to restart your PC and then download the CZ039 driver directly from the AverMedia website. And then once this is installed, you'll want to restart your PC again. You may be able to just download this and skip the A833 if you don't feel comfortable downloading this. Once that was installed, I was hoping that my serial key would be registered, but it never did, so I was never able to actually get the official products. That's okay though, because I was able to get it to work in OBS without ever actually using any AverMedia products. After you've installed all the drivers necessary and you've restarted your PC and then plugged everything in and powered everything on, you're ready to configure the video in OBS. Like I said, my serial codes have never worked for any AverMedia products, so I was scared I was never going to be able to configure the AverMedia or capture card, but you're actually able to make all the configurations necessary within OBS, and it applies directly to the capture card. You don't need their software at all. So that's really great. So to get started, you'll just want to add a video source as normal, like it's an Elgato, Dazzle, Hapog, any of the good old normal stuff. And I want to make sure that you can see everything I'm doing as well. So I'll just put this right here, and then I'll put the other box right above it. So this normally was just gray, null, nothing, not even blue for me. And on VLC, when I would try to capture through VLC, it'd be like a little red square. Or sometimes I'd get it to work, but it would look absolutely insane. So what I did was I started with configure video. Now my RAM is remembering that this is NTSC no matter what every time I restart it, but it defaults to PAL, which is a European format, and you'll want to change it to NTSC for the American format. Yeah, and then after that, you'll want to configure crossbar. Now this is the most important step that I was not able to find anywhere on the internet of how to do. This right here is changing it from recording from the yellow cable that's plugged into nothing into the recording from the S-Video cable, which is the one that we actually have plugged in. And once you apply that, I get video now. Well, but don't be scared if you don't get video yet, because I didn't for a long time. I had to do a couple of extra things I'm going to go through to get that video on. So once I got the S video configured, it still wasn't working. So I had to go to custom and ensure that the resolution that was picking up was 720 by 480. Now it defaulted to it now for me, I think because I tried to clear it, but I can't. Sometimes it would default to 720 by like 566 or something like that. That wouldn't work either, so you would have to backspace it and make sure it's 480. If that doesn't work for you, you can also try 640 by 480, which is the same resolution, just tighter. I don't like it. I prefer the wider for Melee. I think it looks nicer. So I stick to 720 by 480. Now, it's important that we get 29.97 FPS as well. We don't want 25 and we don't want 60 because we don't want the time code to be all janky and extra frames in there of nothing. So if you see this, we go for this. If you don't see this, we go for highest FPS because match output is probably going to give it to 25 or something stupid, and we don't want that. So highest FPS, and then we can set the canvas to 29.97, or if we see it here, we just put it here. Now the rest of these don't really matter, at least I don't think so. If someone has a better setup in the comments they can provide, please do. Now if you still don't see image, do not be scared. I did not either. The last thing I had to do to get my image to pop up was click this button right here. I just did it for fun and it worked, and now it hasn't been broken since. Use custom audio device. Now this pretty much let me choose the capture card as the audio device as well, and for some reason that just let it work. Now I saw lots of tutorials online about adding the capture card as an audio input capture and then going into the advanced audio properties and making this monitoring both, but that never did anything for me. That might have been an old fix, but making it the audio device a separate audio device within the capture device is what fixed it for me. One thing I did want to throw in here as well is that when I first got it working, the colors were really off. I think they look decent now as to what they should be, but I did want to give you guys the exact proc amp values that I was using in case they do actually help. Oh, where'd it go? Can you guys see it, I wonder? Yes. So I had to bump the brightness and contrast way up. The saturation I had to crank all the way, almost all the way up. I think in the menu everything was like green looking by default. And then I don't know if the sharpness to 2 is actually good or not. I'm kind of just rolling with it because I feel like it might be placebo effect, but I think it might look a little bit better. But just want to give you guys that quick tip as well. I want to provide a couple quick tips on capturing video with these old capture cards and old footage in general that's using the NTSC format. So generally, well, first things first, you're going to definitely want to set your canvas size in OBS. This will be, you can manually type in here when you're not recording. Change that to 720 by 480 to match your capture card, or 640 by 480, and the FPS value is 29.97. Once you get done with your recording, you're going to want to remux your recording. So I have an example clip of Melee here. It's MKV format when you get done recording, but you have to remux it to be able to use it in programs like After Effects. So you find your recording, and it's my only Melee clip I have in here. And then you go, and now you find your remuxed clip, and you bring that into your program of choice, whether it be After Effects or Premiere or the encoder or any other program that can do this, is interpret footage. Now what we're doing is we're changing these digital square pixels that we recorded in, and we're going to be changing them into the, interpreting them as NTSC. And then okay, and then what that does is that just makes it look a little bit more natural. Hey, I just wanted to include one more cool thing that the C039 has been able to resolve for me recently, and that's me trying to get FireWire cables to work on new technology. But what I've come to find out is that all the old computers had FireWire cards already installed, and I can't really install a FireWire card into my laptop. So with the AverMedia, I was able to take some RCA cables that I had and just plug them directly into my VX1000, and then used all that there. And now I'm able to just go into OBS and change this from S-Video back to composite in and apply. And now my VX1000 is a webcam on my computer. And I don't have to get a FireWire or a card or anything like that. And it looks pretty good. Decent enough to capture the homies playing Melee with the old stereo microphone. That sounds amazing. It'll be clickety clackety for the controllers. So just something I wanted to share. I'll have to pick up another one, unfortunately, but that's no thing.